Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. I am really excited because this is a product that I've been using over the last few weeks, and it's pretty neat. So I want to introduce Dr. James Fielding. He's the founder and managing director and all-around kind of jack of all trades at Audeara, and he's coming to us live from Australia. So, Dr. James, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here, mate. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. And so tell us a little bit about you, and if you don't mind, tell us more about Audeara.
Sure thing. So they're quite linked. As the founder of the company, I was getting all geared up to be a surgeon, but during medical school was lucky enough to get a scholarship to do an MBA at the same time. And the goal was to teach a few of us how to think about health and medicine through a wider lens. And we started looking at problems we could address and people we could help. And one of the big ones that really caught our attention and really pulled at our heartstrings was the impact of hearing loss on wider quality of life and access to hearing health information. So we actually originally started the company to make a medical device that would do self-directed hearing tests. And we discovered that no matter who you are or how easy it is, when you show someone an audiogram, it still doesn't mean an awful lot to them. So we thought, how are we going to get people to change their behavior? Let's give them a positive experience. Let's link them to the importance of their hearing health. So we developed this platform where you put the headphones on, you do a hearing check, and we use that individual hearing profile to tailor the sound to each individual's profile, which over the last 6 years has gone from medical device by med school Dr. Kids to Kickstarter campaign, global launch, to coming back to our medical roots and securing the supply agreement with the Australian Department of Health here, which is kind of our bedrock. And then we said, look, these are the people we want to help. These are the clinicians that are trying to solve the same problem as us. Let's work alongside the clinics. And we really hammered down. And over the last few years, we've now available for sale in pretty much every clinic there is in Australia and starting to kick off into the US. And I just got back a few weeks ago, but I spent the first few months of the year over there with our incredible team and excited to be sharing the story.
Yeah, so a doctor who has a business background, I think that pulls at our heartstrings as odd bosses, because as you know, most of our odd bosses are doctors or hearing care professionals who have a honorary degree in business management because we've been living this life for so long.
That's
Being
right.
so from Australia, you guys have blown up in Australia, and as you guys are now into the U.S. market, can you tell us a little bit about that growth that you guys have seen?
Yeah, so as I was saying before, it really started with us returning to our medical origins and winning that government supply contract into the Department of Hearing Health, which was a massive seal of approval in the Australian market. And that led to a collection of independent clinics coming to us and saying, hey, we've heard about this. We think it's really great. Let's learn more about that. How do we become part of that? So we built a really strong following with the independent clinics, the IAA, we're at Audeara and all these really great events. And then we started bolting on with all of the larger chains that were a bit kind of slower to react, then with those proof points. And then over the course of the last 2 years, we've gotten everyone there is to get, which is a really exciting moment for us when we'd really realized that we're onto a good thing. And it's not so much about the headphones. The headphones in and of themselves are incredible, and the sound is incredible, they're comfortable, all those good things you expect from a headphone. Where we try to really differentiate ourselves was in our service offering to our clinic partners. How can we help? How can we train? How can we develop? How can we have people keep coming back and asking us for support and guidance, and how can we be part of the growth of a clinic? And it really came to the fore, I think, in COVID times as well, with drastically reduced walk-in rates, a lot of cancelled appointments. I mean, Australia locked down really hard, and
Yeah.
parts of Australia locked down really hard for a really long time. And luckily, audiology was an essential health service.
Mhm.
So still able to stay open, but people were simply not going. And there was a really great moment there where as a team, we said, okay, we're used to having the clinic be driving a lot of that. How do we help? What can we do? How do we educate clinics? And so they were getting on the phones reaching out, shipping product direct to clients, really adapting their business models. And it's the odd bosses who have the gumption to do that, to attack these different models, to try new things, to get better outcomes. And there were some clinics, they were doing 20, 30 pieces a month, finding people that, hey, they left without something a few months ago, or they're ready for this now. Let's re-engage them. And that gave us a lot of understanding around how we're more than a headphone. We're providing an additional business opportunity.
Yeah. So we, as I mentioned earlier, I've been playing around with this for the past few weeks. So what I have here is this is the app itself. And you probably can't see it because of the glare, but I have two students, audiology students, and one of them has a pretty severe hearing loss, and the other one and myself, we have normal hearing. So what we did is we went through here. So there's 3 user profiles on the bottom of the screen. Naturally, your patients will only have 1 profile. But the neat thing is that when you start the hearing check, and right now it's searching for the headphones because I don't have them turned on just yet, but you turn it on, you go through this what I would say is a very simple, easy to use. I think anybody should be able to run through this hearing check. And then it tailors the sound. And, I got to be honest, when I first heard about it, I thought, oh, this is just gimmick. But I can tell you, after listening to it and playing around, I've even faked the hearing loss a little bit to kind of hear the difference in the quality. And it's pretty significant. And, you may ask, well, how can you tell right from left? Well, you guys made this pretty dummy proof. We don't have to worry about blue and red. I think it's pretty obvious which one's right, which one's left. You put these on and it does the test, and very, very simple to use. But the thing that I really like I like everything so far, but the thing I really like is how humongous your TV transmitter is.
Yeah.
Just this. And this thing, when I talk about how much it weighs, it feels like there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
And it's so small and so unobtrusive because, James and I were talking before we started the recording, and, there's so many companies out there, and maybe you can touch on this, Jess. There's so many companies out there that make ALDs and headphones and stuff. What separates this apart, maybe, if you can answer that?
Yeah, I think the fact that we came at it from this medical angle, this helping people angle, and it went into our entire design philosophy. So we didn't have that TV streamer when we first set out. We were going to be developing headphones only, and we were looking at how we can get the best possible fit. But then we started giving the technology to different people, and that led the way we were building it. And the first person who reached out through my friend network was saying, hey, I heard you're working on this cool thing about hearing. I had a cholesteatoma as a kid. I haven't heard anything interesting out of my left ear in 30 years. Put him on, his big rugby playing guy, big wallaby, and, tears welling up. And he's used to wearing headphones one side or just cutting the string off them because they're useless. And he was just blown away. And I thought, okay, headphones that sound really good, that's great. But how are we going to unlock this really great opportunity for people that genuinely need it and are going to get this amazing benefit? And that led to the TV streamer and the design of that, and saying, all right, it has to be easy, it has to be light, it has to be simple, it has to be quick, it has to pair super simply, because we're going to be helping a lot of people that understand Bluetooth. We're going to be helping a lot of people, maybe Bluetooth not so much for them, and are going to need a little more help. So we tried to make it as simple as possible and ensure that people are going to get the biggest bang for buck. And when we thought we were building really clever headphone tech, turns out sell a headphone, save a marriage. This was all about controlling TV volume, having husbands and wives in the same room at the same time, enjoying the same thing. It became a communication device, an entertainment device, a connection device. And we still talk about it like that. Yes, it's great tech. Yes, it's great battery life, is all that stuff. But how do you use it? How are you connecting with the community through it? I'm using them now to do these podcasts. And, if I had a severe hearing loss, we hear this all the time. People working from home, people trying to FaceTime the grandkids, whatever it may be. There's none of this, can you hear me? Can I hear you? Hang on, I don't really know what's happening. Bang, you're in, you're tailored, you're tuned up. And it's, I think that's our biggest differentiator, that we put a lot of effort and energy into making sure that it's going to work for our community. It's over the top of hearing aids. It's over the top of cochlear implants. It's saying, whatever you've got, we'll sort you out. We'll be a solution.
Yeah, and Bluetooth is such a catchphrase these days. And I know in the Odd Boss community, we sometimes will I say joke. I know some of those comments are serious that we get frustrated with Bluetooth with our patients, but it's not so much the Bluetooth as much as it's the connectivity. And I
Yeah.
think making this so simple. Do you foresee down the road, and maybe you don't have to share any secrets, but do you foresee down the road having more add-ons like a remote microphone and things like that that might be able to
Yeah.
pair with the headphones?
Yeah, we do. We're working on those things all the time and
Yeah.
making the decisions around how many do we need, how they're going to work, what problem they're going to solve. Do we just incorporate that tech into the next generation of headphones? How do we build that out? So, as always, any feedback, you just hit me up, james@audeara.com. If you've got a cool idea about Audeara, what we're doing, what you'd love to see in your clinic, we're all ears. And, we take that very seriously around, hey, this would be really great. And even better if we'd love to take that on board and see what we can do.
Yeah, and I love I got to say, I'll show it once again, but the comfort, because you guys did a very good job of making this comfortable. Because I have numerous headphones at home, because anytime a company comes out with something for TV, I'm always buying it to test it out. And so far, the Sennheiser has been really good for me. However,
Yeah.
now I'm using this, and I can tell you that
That's wonderful.
the connection to this, and that I put in a fake hearing test that gives me a little bit more oomph in certain areas. It's become a lot clearer for me. So I really do like it. And I know that even some headphones, when you wear them all day long, and especially the ones that are pulling down on your ears, that's a terrible design in my opinion. But
Yeah.
on top of your head, you got to have some comfort. And you can see my hair is up. I mean, I have to be careful. I don't want to ruin my hair. So the idea is that having something comfortable on top of my head is really important. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Odd bosses are all about business, and we like business. Of course, patient care is a primary concern. But to be an odd boss, you have to also look at the bottom line to be able to keep your doors open. So something that
It's very expensive to help people.
it is very expensive to help people.
It costs a lot of money to provide care to people. Absolutely.
Yeah, it does. And I think obviously, the patient community, they don't realize how much it actually costs.
No.
How can Audeara or something like this, and I'll go over the price points and the discounts and all that in a moment, but how can Audeara help in terms of just bottom line revenue?
Yeah, so where we've seen the biggest impact are on two main groups. The first is the person who's umming and ahhing and not quite sure whether they're ready to take the plunge into a hearing aid. So we see it as somewhat of a gateway drug, where someone has gone to all the effort to realize they've had a problem, get convinced to come to the clinic, make the appointment, actually turn up, have the assessment, walk through, sit down, have a chat, and then they still go, maybe I'll wait a while, right? And they leave. That person has been seeking a solution. You need to find it. You need to give them something of value. And I think the other area is that person who needs that greater versatility. So they may have committed to some hearing aids, they may have committed to a particular style, particular shape, particular connectivity. And as you said, it's that connectivity piece around, some are proprietary, some are iOS only. If I want to be working on my laptop, I can't do that with my phone. So there's a versatility piece there around ensuring that a person is getting a complete, holistic, total quality of life option.
Mm-hmm.
And we always think, the latest hearing aids have Bluetooth and have that connectivity. And yes, they do. And a lot of them are really great, but most people aren't going to upgrade from one to the next. And so you're either capturing people that were going to walk out without nothing, so that's an amazing revenue add, or you're going to be upselling and converting a lifestyle option for people who've already made a commitment and are perhaps not ready to make that bigger commitment. And I think the key to it as well is unlocking the power of your front of office staff. I think turning front of office staff into a revenue generating piece of your business model is super important and super valuable, because they're the people, if your client or patient, however you want to name people, are sitting in a waiting room waiting to come through, maybe they come out, maybe they're setting up a bill, maybe one's gone in, the other's still sitting there having a chat, looking around. You're turning that into revenue. And the most successful clinics we have in Australia, it is far and away the front office staff who take ownership of this process. So it's not just say that the clinician isn't recommending it. They always are. They're saying, hey, this is best for you. Go get it. They're definitely not recommending them over a hearing aid, because I know that if I want to be in business, clinics need to be in business, and that means selling high revenue items like hearing aids and being that final solution for people. But when it's, hey, I think this would be great for you, go and talk to our team at the front desk. They'll get you sorted out. They get you set up. They get that square. You're not taking clinician time to be talking about a headphone. I think you need to balance that around. I've done a needs assessment. I've decided this is going to be a great solution. And if you got time, then of course, great customer care to say, hey, choose this option. But we really think it should be something that's either direct ship, front of house, take care of it. You know, it's dealt with in that area where you're not taking really valuable clinician time around, you know, you're making good margin, but you're not making hearing aid margin. I think you need to be really sensible about that and who you empower in your clinic as well, whether it be the walking in and assessing their needs, whether it be doing a call list. You know, who walked out of my clinic in the last 60 days that I really think had a problem and didn't make that choice to move forward with a solution. And so how do we ensure that everyone is leaving with that solution? And if you can empower different members of your team, you're turning a cost base into revenue base, and that's always going to be a good idea.
Yeah, I always counsel clinics that your business is either made or not made from the front office. You know,
absolutely.
The contact, that first contact they make when they're walking in, and the last contact when they're walking out, determines the next step.
Yeah, so, they don't come for reception, but they leave because of them. Absolutely.
Yeah,
you know, it's a very important part of the business.
Absolutely. So you guys are offering our Oddboss members a 20% discount. So when you contact Audeara, and I'm going to put the email address right down here. It might be over there. It might be over there, wherever it is down here. There's going to be an email address there that you can actually contact them, let them know that you're an Oddboss member, and you'll get a 20% discount. And James, can you go over the pricing on, you know, this whole system and what it costs our members?
Yeah, so we're retailing the bundle, and we do recommend the TV bundle as your primary option. It just creates so much versatility like we've been talking about. So they're $499 recommended retail to the customer, and $349 is our standard pricing. So you're getting 20% off that to get that extra kicker. And I think it's also really important to know that we're open to exploring combined marketing campaigns and incentive programs if you want to spiv your front office staff as a way to kind of light a fire under their enthusiasm. We're here to create great relationships with clinics, and we want to do what it takes to ensure we get that training on board, get the team fired up, get everyone excited. So reach out, talk to us, and let's find a great solution.
That sounds great. And so before I let you go, do you have anything final that you want to mention? I know you kind of wrapped it up there, but anything you want to say before we...
No, I am so excited. I mean, it's a bit cliche, but I've got 2 actual babies. But this is my baby. I've been doing this. I was, you know, walking down the corridors, going to be a surgeon 6 years ago. We've built an incredible team. I've gotten to meet so many amazing people. So the fact that we're starting to launch in the US, we're starting to, you know, really help some people internationally now, you know, it's incredibly exciting, and I really look forward to meeting even more people.
Yeah, and I'm excited for everyone to give these guys a try. Again, Audeara with this really heavy, humongous, obtrusive TV device, which I can't believe how light and small it is. So really well done, James. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to put your contact information down below as well. And all the contact information will be in the bio of this video. So James, Audeara, thank you guys. And thanks for sponsoring Oddboss this year. We're still kind of crossing our fingers. You guys will cross the pond here and join us. But if not, we'll have you virtually.
I'll tell you what, the Jesse and Finn in the US at the moment, they'll be there for sure. And whether or not I can make it, you know, fingers crossed as well.
We're excited to have them. Well, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please visit Audeara and contact them and order these headphones. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.